audio.
Hello, Maria.
Can you hear me?
Are you on mute?
Okay. No, it's not unmuted, right?
Yeah, but she may be on mute.
Ask to start video.
Maria is connecting to audio. I can't hear you yet.
Okay. Hello? Hello?
Maria?
Hello?
She can hear you.
This is Sage Community Watch, Crime Watch. Do you understand? Are you there? Can you hear? Can you see me?
Yes, hello?
Hello, woman. Except I only see a name. It's like, okay, how do you do this? I'm not very good at this yet.
Hello?
Okay. Yes.
Oh.
Do you have a camera? Okay.
I don't know how to work this.
I don't either. This is my first two, so that's why I have my friend here to help me. Put in waiting room. Okay. Okay, you need to put the camera on.
Okay, I don't think this computer has a camera.
So as long as you can hear, that's fine.
Okay, yeah, I can hear.
Okay. I completely forgot. It's like I'm watching a YouTube video and I forgot about the meeting. It's like all day I've been waiting for the meeting and then I forget.
Yeah, I thought it was at 6, so I think I logged in at 5:55.
Oh, you did? Okay. Wow. That real early there. Okay, but why is Maria here? Oh, I see. Okay, so Maya, are you here? Okay.
Hi, this is Maya Avery.
Hey, woman.
Hi.
Hello. Okay, so you're driving. Oh, okay, that's interesting.
How would you do that?
You're so funny. Okay, so I'm sure there's there any more coming in? Oh.
It's not 6:30 yet.
Uh-oh, what did I do? View full screen. Oops. Uh-oh, what did I do? Shoot. No. Okay, hold on here. Invite. They're already invited, aren't they?
Yeah.
Shoot.
Okay, you're fine.
Are you still there? Are you still there? Maya?
Me?
Okay, you're still there. Okay, good.
Oh.
Really? Okay, this is very unusual.
That's just your view. Select a different view.
Bear with me.
Try
Gallery view? Okay. Oh.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Oh, that's different.
That's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, but when 1,000 people walk in, then what?
You get little.
Speaker view. Exit. No, I don't want to. I'm afraid to.
I think it's speaker view.
Speaker view? You want to find out the hard way? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't understand.
Try and pull it over to the side.
Oh, but then if I pull it over to the side, then I'll put it this way. Okay, so Maria doesn't have video, but she's on mute. Why is she on mute? Oh, ask to unmute.
Okay.
Oh.
She can be on mute until she wants to unmute.
Oh, okay. Okay, so.
I'm not on mute, am I?
Okay, now, yeah, but wait, Maya, are you talking, woman? No, that's Maria. That's Maya. Okay, so Maria. I think, okay, now you're all on normal. Okay, I see. Okay, so that's it? What happened to my speakers?
That's not 6:30.
I know, but they should be here first. They should be here first, not last. That's true. And I'm thinking of doing the Pledge of Allegiance, but it'd be kind of hard. Oh yeah, you need one of those. do. Okay, well, 3 of us, better than nothing. Us, 4 of us,
Just
okay.
give it to about 40.
Okay, who is this?
Give it to 6.
Okay, this is, hello. And who may you be? He's connecting, okay. This is interesting. Hello, are you one of the speakers?
You don't have to shout. I can hear you just fine.
Oh. I'm Greek. I'm sorry. I'm loud. But then again, so
my ear.
I'm sorry. Oh, full screen. Okay, that's how it works. This is new to me, so bear with me.
No problem. You're coming in loud and clear.
I'm sorry.
It's
Now,
okay.
you're one of the guest speakers?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if I'm a speaker. I wasn't given that information. My name is Manny Aguanga. I'm the supervisor for code enforcement that
You are.
oversees field operations for the southern region of the county.
Okay, then you are the guest
Cool.
speaker then. Oh, frozen.
I
Oh,
think about.
okay. So then it happens. Okay. I'm not used to this. This is so weird. And Mark Lewandowski better be on this thing because it was his idea to begin with.
Do you know what they wanted me to speak about?
Anything you know.
Okay.
Yeah, about what's
The
going on.
Sage area.
Sage.
I couldn't
Yeah.
hear that. I couldn't hear that. What was that?
The
The
platform.
code rules for the pot farm.
You're not. I can't hear you, but I can hear. Is it
It's
Elena or Elena?
yes, it's me.
I can hear you just fine. I'm not sure why I can't hear her.
That's funny. She's right next to me too.
I know. Is there a microphone separate or?
No.
No.
Oh, there you go. That's a little bit better.
Oh,
Maybe-
okay. I'm closer to the.
Perfect. Perfect.
I was trying to hide my face.
Yeah, you kind of fade out. So maybe flip the screen. Is it a laptop?
It's a laptop.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe face it toward. There you go. Now it's perfect. So it must be just the where it's at. You want?
I guess we want to know what if there are any new rules or what the rules are as far as with the marijuana grows.
Okay, so I see up in the screen you have Jennifer Morris. Jennifer Morris is in charge of our marijuana cultivation dispensaries with the county of Riverside. She also works for code enforcement, and she is also a supervisor.
Okay, that's
I can comment on quality of life issues. How's that?
Okay, that's fine.
Now I have a bit of a report card that I could probably talk a little bit about.
And I need to speak to someone after the meeting because there was an incident up here recently where the lights went out and there was a big thing behind it. People were saying that it was a Soboba incident, but it wasn't. It was too far away. We're in Sage. That thing is 45 minutes away. So a few people confronted me because I do the Sage Community Watch. Hello, woman. Because I do the Sage Community Watch, people confront me and they send me messages every day and they tell me their incidents that go on in the area. And so I need to explain that to you after the meeting. So when everybody gets off, to let you guys know, because it's kind of a
Sensitive issue.
touchy issue. Yeah.
So may I make a suggestion on your Zoom meeting?
Yes.
So up on top, you can mute everybody, and it'll be right on the list of everybody's name. It should be because what's
Yes,
happening.
it's mute all. Mute
Yeah,
all.
okay, and then have people raise their hand. There's like a little hand icon. So if I have a question or if you call upon me,
They can unmute.
yeah,
Is that the reaction underneath?
yeah. So if go ahead and mute all, and then I'll come back on. So just unmute me.
Well, can I talk to you afterwards?
Oh yeah. I just want to, because what's happening is everybody who's on here, every time they talk, it blocks you out. Because it wants to pick it up as a priority. I see
okay.
Maya's muted, but I'm not sure if Supervisor Morris is muted, but she may not be. She looks like she might have muted herself. So.
Oh, she muted herself, so mute all.
Yeah, that's an option for it. But if you have everybody mute and then whoever's speaking.
And then they can mute themselves.
Oh, wait, what did I?
you muted everybody, that's fine.
Yes.
And then they can click on when
That's fine.
they want to talk. But this way, it keeps your voices as primary, because if not, then you start picking up the sound of somebody typing.
Okay.
Ice, against a glass of taking a sip of water. So just a suggestion.
Okay.
We're gonna give it 5 more minutes for people.
Well, there's a lot of people still is, okay, where is everybody? Did I
So
lose a
you
people?
you should also have on the sidebar there, there'll be a notification to you to allow people to come in. So it's usually in the bottom where the participates.
Participants?
You'll see, participants, and then it'll say to somebody is staging, waiting to be accepted in.
Yeah, it's not, and no, so far,
We've got quite a few people in there.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
but
very
where's
good.
Captain? Captain Leonard Purvis isn't in here yet. That's strange. Did he forget? And I sent him a message. Okay, so when I mute everybody, that means they can't talk, so.
And that's correct. Either you unmute them, or they will, they can also unmute themselves too.
Okay. Oh, they can mute themselves,
Mhm.
unmute themselves. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so,
Especially like when you open it up to questions, then, once a question is asked, whoever wants to speak on it can then
okay.
unmute.
Well, I'm glad I have her here because I'm not with it here. This is very different. I'm sure this sounds like you've been doing this a long time.
Well, because of COVID, this is what we had to resort to in order for our in-house meetings.
Right.
We've used this to communicate with one another as we maintain social distancing. So,
Okay. Okay.
I'm not a pro at it, but I've had a few hours underneath me.
Okay, I see this is it. Wow. Not a lot of people here. Okay, so wait. Oh, unmute. Okay, you're Mark, right? No,
I'm Manny.
you're Manny. Okay,
Yes, Manny Aguanga.
to
And
unmute.
we're still a little early. I think it was kickoff at 6:30, and I've got
Yeah.
6:27 by my watch.
Okay, so they're not even on here yet. Okay, so, okay, well, nine people. Who is the 9th person? Oh, waiting. Okay. Oh, Riverside. Okay, admit. Who could that be?
Planning department.
Oh, planning department. Okay.
I believe that's going to be Jeff Hildebrand. But yeah, that's when you admit. You want to keep an eye on that, because they won't be able to get in until you authorize it.
Mhm. Oh,
I wonder if you can make that box bigger.
what box?
Can you drag it and make it bigger?
Which box?
Not letting me- There we go.
Oh, learning something new.
Oh, we
Yeah.
don't have to scroll so much.
Oh, okay. So, okay, this is, okay, so that's it. Okay, and they're still coming in.
Give it a few more minutes.
I'm freaking out. Sorry. Sorry, guys, I'm freaking out a little bit. Then that's normal.
You can also use the chat box, and then people, as we
Uh-oh,
go,
frozen.
as you push chat at the bottom, it'll pop up on the side of your screen.
Here's the chat box.
Oh, the chat box, it's right here.
Oh, okay, there you go.
And what does it do? Oh, I
People
see.
can talk.
Oh, okay. Okay. Put that to the side.
We can put that to the side.
Okay. Oh, well,
Don't
no,
worry about looking at that. Put it over
yeah,
there.
but it'd be good to look at them. I know I'm being silly. Okay, hold on. Someone else is coming in. Okay, Beverly is coming in. Jennifer Wharton is coming in. Okay, she's a coming. Okay. Okay, hello. Okay, she doesn't have, oh, Purvis is it? Okay, I was wondering what
Hi.
happened. Captain Purvis.
On my porch. No, it's Jennifer.
Hello, woman. Okay.
I'm gonna
Okay.
turn my camera off though.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Captain Purvis, you hear me, dude? Is he in yet?
You did it. Hooray. It's Bev.
Oh, okay. Okay, so us to unmute. Okay, so Captain Purvis, you're here.
They probably muted him. Where is he?
They're all asked to unmute. Oh, he's unmuted.
Yes, I could hear you.
Now he's there. I'm sorry. It's like, this is new. I'm really
It's
new
her
to this.
first time.
I'm getting kind of chicken. I'm getting hot, you know? Okay, more people. What? Don't say that in front of him. I don't do those things. I thought that means the other thing. Okay. Okay, so what time is it? No, it's not time yet. Okay, so I think I'll have you on first, Captain, and then I'll have the rest of them on, and then we can talk later or code enforcement about the issue that I'm having with a few people that know something that I can't say right now. So yes. Okie dokie. This is so unusual. Interesting. Okay, any more people? I guess. Okay, so would it be stupid to start with the American flag first, the Pledge of Allegiance? Or you would think it's stupid?
Not at all. Not at
Okay.
all. I always will say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay. Okay, mute. Oh, wait. They're all, right now they're mute. No, they're not muted.
Oh, okay.
They're all muted themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me see. It's only 14. Oh, okay. Robert's pad. I wonder who that is. Okay, so. Okay. Okay, Robert's in. Okay, so anyone else? 15. Okay, Carmelita Klein is in. Hello, woman. Okay, so, okay. What time is it now? I think is it time yet? I don't know. What time is it, woman?
6:35.
Oh, okay. I think we should start. And whoever comes in, I'll bring them in. And one person left. Interesting.
Oh, they got this. That's all.
Okay, well, okay,
That
so
happens all the time.
I guess we can start with the push. Do we stand or we sit? Here we go.
I'll hold the flag.
I'm ready. Okay, ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay,
Liberty and justice for all.
I'm sorry, I'm kind of fast. Okay, done. Pause. Okay, everybody, okay, there's some more people coming in. Okay, so I guess, okay, so welcome everyone to Sage Community Crime Watch meeting. We have a few speakers here. Let me see if I get this right. Riverside County Sheriff Captain Purvis, yay. Supervisor Code Enforcement Officer for District 3, which I don't know anybody's name. Supervisor Code Enforcement Officer Morris of Cannabis, of the Cannabis team. And Assistant Director, if I'm gonna say this name wrong, Charissa? Leach? Is it Charissa? I don't know. I hope I got that right. Okay, so we said the Pledge of Allegiance. And now, if you guys want to say something, you'll have to, I guess, are they muted?
Put their hand up.
Put your hand up and, or say hey, and then say something, but let's bring them the questions afterwards and let them speak first. So, okay, so I guess Captain Purvis, you're first. And then we can get, yes, this person, yeah. Okay, so Grandpa's iPad joining in. Okay, go ahead, Captain.
Hello, everyone. How are you? Nice to see some of you. I see names and I see some live faces, so it's great to see the live faces. If you haven't noticed, on Friday we did a sweep in the Anza, actually the Sage and Aguanga area, marijuana grows. We ended up serving 5 search warrants, and our total plant count was about 2,500. We had about 14,000 pounds of processed marijuana and a total tonnage of about 4 tons. So we specifically were in your area on Friday. We've also been in the Anza area quite a bit. Within the last couple of weeks, we did an operation called Operation El Pequeño last month, where we served about, gosh, I think it was close to 40 search warrants. So we've been busy. Code enforcement has been our partner in this continued struggle. But like I tell folks, we're not giving up. We keep hearing your issues and your complaints. And all we do, or what we ask of the community, is to continue to give us information. You could do it anonymously, and we will try our best to eradicate those marijuana grows, because we know it's a major issue. It's a major quality of life problem in Sage, Aguanga, and Anza.
Okay. Anything else you're gonna tell us? That's all you have?
No, I'm mostly here to answer questions.
Okay.
You know,
So
that's
anybody-
my thing. I don't want to just. I'd rather address concerns than just kind of, bloviate and just. I want to hear what your concerns are.
Okay, so anybody have any questions about anything to Captain? Somebody? Come on, it's too quiet in here. Come on, guys. He's here, say something. Anyone? I guess they'll bring it up later.
I see Diane raising her hand.
Oh, okay. Diane?
You can unmute herself.
We just have to unmute her.
She can do it herself.
Can she do it herself?
Yeah, we left it so she can
Certainly
unmute
can.
herself.
Okay, are you
I
on
am
the-
now unmuted. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just want to go on record as saying that I so appreciate everything that you, Captain, and your team does for us out here in Sage, because, I've lived up here on the hill off of Minto Way, about 1.5 miles off of Sage for almost, 38 years, actually. And I share my road with some folks that I don't really, I wish they were gone, let's put it that way. And I know that I can report them, but I'm always nervous about it because of, feeling like they're gonna get back at me somehow. So it's a nerve-wracking thing to live next to a criminal activity, especially when they're so close to your house and they could just come and go. So it's really upset my life a lot. And I know, like you've talked to us, Captain, you can report this, and I'm sure I'll do it at some point. It's a nerve-wracking. I've got a water truck coming up every single day until just last month, I think, because they probably harvested everything. But it was one full water truck up my driveway every single day. So I know they must have had quite a bit going. So, it's just the characters that come and go. You don't know who they are. And it's nerve-wracking. And so I just want to say I appreciate that you're taking care of us. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Diane. But just, like I said, and I've told many community members before, you could, even if you feel apprehensive about making a report yourself, you could always do so anonymously. We do take anonymous complaints. I have 2 personnel who are specifically assigned out of my station to deal with marijuana now, which I didn't have before. So that's just within the last couple of weeks, I've been able to assign 2 people specifically to.
That is exciting.
Yes, and I'm excited about that too. And I hope that team grows because we supplement the marijuana enforcement team. So it's nice. We've been doing that ourselves at the station for a few years since I've been here, but to actually have 2 detectives assigned to eradicate marijuana is a big plus.
Cool.
Great. You know, look at all the comments that are made on the Sage Community Watch and Talk comments, you know, that you read about. There's a lot of people that think that the Sheriff's Department is spending their time wasting time because it's just a plant and they ought to be doing something else, like not on our heels, you know, like going after the real bad guys. But I think, you know, when you look at what it's doing to our wildlife and our, you know, the thefts and the criminal element is just so bad. And especially what happened out there in Aguanga a month or so ago with all the deaths. So I think that's the best thing that you guys are doing is getting rid of this criminal element that exists out here. And it's not so much about the plant itself, but it does need to be regulated because it draws all kinds of criminal folk.
Mm-hmm.
No, it does. And like you mentioned, Diane, we had Riverside County's largest homicide as far as victims in Riverside County history. And that was in Aguanga on Labor Day of this year, where we had 7 victims. So it's not a victimless crime. That was a huge blow to not only us here at the Hammond Station, but to a lot of our law enforcement partners were very surprised that type of violence took place here in Riverside County. So yeah, it was. We've kind of known all along that there's violence that's attached to these marijuana grows, but to see it in that capacity was it was incredible. We just could not believe that we had 7 victims. It was horrible.
Now, with the marijuana grows, are you finding with some of them that you're finding other, criminal activity, like the dog rings or anything like that, the dog fighting rings, cockfighting rings with the marijuana grows, or is that a separate issue?
We haven't found any really in our area. There was one case about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, where we had received reports that there was a guy driving around in a beat up truck with a bunch of animals. We found that person. We ended up towing his vehicle because it had not been registered for many, many years. We checked on the well-being of the animals. We had animal control out there with us. They weren't being used in that fashion for dog fighting, but we wanted to make sure that these dogs were okay. And they ended up being okay, and we made sure that, animal control checked them out for us. So we haven't really seen that. I know in the Meade Valley, Good Hope area of Riverside County, where I used to work previously when I was out at the Lake Elsinore station, we had quite a few instances where there was cockfighting type operations and some dog fighting type situations, but we haven't really found that on the Hill. I think what we're seeing primarily is just a focus on marijuana production. And it's, as you all see, we have hundreds of grows, if not thousands of grows up on that hill, depending on which area you're in. And we haven't seen the cockfighting or the dog fighting issues.
There's another problem. They're using our water. There's a lot of, not only this, the water trucks, I didn't see them all year until recently, but before that, they were using our water. Because we didn't see any water trucks coming through. And that was scary because even when I watered the plants or something or used the water, I would ask my husband, are you using the water? And no one's using the water. So it's like, okay, where's the water going? I know we haven't had rain, but when I see what goes on down the street, and then I see the water trucks, and recently they just started the water truck. So I don't know what's going on, but I think they're using our water supply, you know, our underground water. So that's what's scaring me the most. So I don't know what to do about that.
Well, no, you're right. And that's why when we go out on these search warrants, we have the California Water Board with us. We have code enforcement with us.
Okay.
And there's several different ways that we address these marijuana grows, because code enforcement has certain ways to affect change. They have different violations that they could levy upon these property owners. And really the California Water Board, they have some pretty significant teeth to some of these criminal code violations that they can assess against some of these property owners, especially if they're using illegal pesticides like carbofuran, which we found at quite a few marijuana grows this year. And
when they're using it inside the house, what do you do? How do you find out when they're doing something in their house?
Well, we're not seeing it inside the house, like say with some of these really dangerous pesticides and herbicides, everything else. We're finding it on the, you know, in the outdoor grows, or even sometimes in the covered grows in the grow houses. But yeah, it's plain as day. They just the containers are just thrown on the ground a lot of times, and we just find them on the ground.
Okay. Anyone else?
Are they? I mean, I find it interesting. Are they thinking you're complacent or not going to find them? I mean, I guess I just don't get the criminal mind.
You know what? I think it's a law of averages. I think a lot of the growers just go, oh, well, there's so many of them up here. They're not going to get us. And, you know, I think they just kind of wait it out to see if they will or will not get caught. You know, and we're up in the helicopters quite a bit, looking at properties. Yeah, I think you guys hear them a lot. We're out in our vehicles, in our undercover cars, and also in our police cars, looking for grows. And we're also responding to anonymous complaints a lot of times to verify whether or not there's grows. So we're not giving up. The sheriff is committed to making sure that we address these issues, and we're not going to give up. And I've told this group a few times that it's interesting, on the hundreds of grows that I've now been out on in the 3.5 years, it's pretty amazing, because we do not find really anything alive at these grows because of the pesticides and some of these like rat poison and other poisons that they're using. We do not find anything alive at these scenes. We don't find snakes, rats, mice, anything. It's a wasteland a lot of times at these grows. And you know, that's what we try to convey to the public, that it's not only harming, you know, your water sources, but it's harming a lot of the plant life and your animal life out there. And I never was exposed to it until I was exposed about that a lot, that we just don't see anything alive at these grows because they use so many of these pesticides and rodent type, you know, pesticide. It's crazy.
Well, it kills dogs and cats, not just the wildlife. It's so horrible that it is a terrible death for these poor animals.
Well, you're right. And we, you know, there's always talk about, you know, snakes and snake season. We have never, even a snake at any of our grows. And this is snake country that we're in. We do not encounter anything that's alive. Like, we've encountered maybe like a horny toad once or twice, but that's about it. Maybe a tarantula or two.
Poor thing.
It's weird. Very weird.
Never mind.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes, woman, go ahead.
I just want to say thank you so much, because it felt like there was a group that was coming into the East Benton type area. Scout, and that group seems to have moved on, and we really appreciate that down in this area.
Did it look like they were planning to start growing marijuana?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
They were looking at purchasing properties. They were saying that they were purchasing them. In some cases, they did purchase the properties. They did start to set up there. And then we have a lot of people in our area that are law enforcement, work for the county, and seem to have helped those people move on. And some of those properties have been relisted. So we appreciate all the help on that.
That the community lets us know what's happening, because it's a couple of prong approach, and I'm so glad that Jennifer's here, because you know we have to partner up with our different partner agencies to address these problems in a multifaceted way, because it really does work when we hit them at a lot of different angles.
So anything else?
Yeah, this is I have an unrelated question.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
So I was just wondering, what can we do about people speeding on dirt roads? I've lived on dirt roads for a long time, and I think everybody knows that it's fine until you get that one neighbor. And I've seen some other people posting things. We've had a couple near miss accidents, and one time he even hit a FedEx driver. Is there anything that we can do? I mean, obviously we can't call the cops every time somebody's speeding on a dirt road, and I know we can't put speed bumps in. Is there anything that people can do?
Well, yeah, like, you know, CHP is responsible for traffic enforcement in the county, but we do help them. If somebody is driving recklessly, you know, we'll take action. If it's something dangerous and our deputies are nearby, we will assist CHP. But I know I've been to community meetings with CHP, and they said if you get something as simple as a license plate or even a picture, you know, we never want to put you in harm's way, but if you could almost surreptitiously get a picture or even video, you can send it to the CHP office, and they will send out a letter to the registered owner to at least let them know that they're driving in a reckless way, and at least put that person on notice. And you could also request that they do some extra patrol on your street. A lot of times they won't catch these people in the act, but if you know where they live, CHP could even visit them and talk to them and kind of put them on notice. I think that's good sometimes, because they may live on a grow. You know, let us know. Like if you know where they live, either CHP or us, we could go out and contact them and find out, you know, what the heck their problem is.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Question, go ahead.
Yes. I do have a question. The pot growers that you guys are busting, what happens to the property owners themselves? Because I know that they're renting, they're doing other things. I mean, how do we get these guys to go after instead of just having some light criminal charges put against them?
Well, you know, and that's where our partnership with code enforcement and the California Water Board helps, because the charges, especially with the California Water Board, are very, very severe, and there's some pretty significant monetary penalties. So, and even some penalties through the judicial system where they can actually do some pretty decent time. But that's if we find some of these violations, these more severe violations. I'd let Jennifer answer some of the questions as far as what can be done to the property owners, because I know sometimes through the code enforcement process, these property owners could you know, be responsible for some pretty hefty fines.
Okay, because I do know that you guys did bust, I don't know, between the two properties, something like about 10 motor homes that are in various stages of, just that disaster. 20, 30 cars on the property, 4 or 5 water trucks,
Yeah.
and it's an eyesore. And
Yes.
yet, you guys cleaned, got rid of the pot, but everything else is still there.
No, you're right. And you know what was nice today? My deputies were talking to me about a place in Anza. Code enforcement was up there today eradicating this huge kind of eyesore property, taking, vehicles off, I think abandoned, trailers. So they do that, but I think you just have to let us know what these issues are, what these problems are. And, they will get addressed. Unfortunately, sometimes it does take some time, but I know code enforcement was up in Anza today. Take gross property. There was a lot of violations, and I don't know if they're done yet today or not, but I know that they were cleaning up a property today, and I know they do that quite often.
Yeah, because we did report it, and then they did move some of the vehicles into a tighter circle, but they're all still there.
Oh,
You know, it looks like a junkyard,
Yeah, it's horrible.
and it's right on the main street. So. Yeah.
Oh, there's
But
Manny.
look-
Manny's gonna.
Hi, how you doing? I'm Manny Aguanga. I'm the supervisor for field operations for the southern region of the county. And I might be able to answer that question a little bit more. We did have 2 officers assigned to a property up there who were involved in removing at least 30 cars from a property. Last week we had 2 operations where each operation had about 15 cars. Just to kind of give you a perspective, I have 4 officers assigned for the entire southern region, and that's about a 250 square mile area. One officer has about 500 cases. So I realize that it doesn't seem to actually, you don't see a big change, but we are working. We are actually one step at a time, car by car by car. We work off of a state funding source where code enforcement actually gets reimbursed for all the vehicles that we do remove. The property is, all the cars are destroyed. Nothing is salvaged or sold again. So once we take it off the lot, we remove it. That includes also parts on the premises as well. There is several different parameters that change the timelines in which we can take it. We have a program, and I was about to speak on that when it was my turn. It was a offer this service to people if they want to have cars that were abandoned on their property, or they have a car that is inoperable. They can actually participate in it. It's free of charge. We remove it at no cost to the property owner and get it cleaned up. In some cases where these lots have been occupied without owner's permission, we usually make contact. We do make contact with the property owners and offer the same program. And that's how we get a lot of these cars taken off the property outside of warrant. There is a due process that we have to abide by in order to give a notification. Even if it's a stripped out model, we still have to give the registered owner the opportunity to claim their vehicle. All the vehicles are checked to see if they're stolen, and those stolen vehicles are returned back to them. But we do our best to try to get to every property. But like I say, it's a large area, and in your case, it's also 250. I have 1 officer for that entire region. And to give you a perspective, it's from basically the 15 freeway all the way out to Anza, and then everything from Sage south to the county line is 1 officer's area. And that's all I've got. I've got those folks. So, but hopefully I answered your question regarding the cars. We're happy to take on any calls or any requests for service. But like I say, we have about 500, and we're trying to get to each one small bite at a time. Jennifer, I think, had some comments regarding the cultivation. I'll turn it over to her.
I don't know if you want me. I'm Jennifer Morris, enforcement team for code enforcement. I don't know if you want me to address the question or wait till it's my turn, because my speech may answer some of the questions. It's up to you, however the moderator would like for me to do it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so so the question was, do we hold the property owners responsible? And the answer is yes, we do. The great thing about code enforcement is that the law states that a property owner doesn't have to be present or aware of the nuisance on their property to be held liable. So what we have a lot of times is we have absent property owners. They might be out of state. They might not live in the area. It might be a vacant parcel. It doesn't matter if they're growing marijuana on their property, if they're growing cannabis, we, code enforcement, are going to hold them responsible. We hold them financially responsible for the nuisance. We start with what's called a cease and desist letter that comes from the county's attorneys that basically say you are have a nuisance that's on your property and you must immediately cease this nuisance. And they have 7 days to contact us for an inspection. And if they don't contact us, we take them to court and we get a court order. Court order could mean a temporary restraining order, which allows us to go onto the property with the sheriff's department and remove and destroy. If they do remove the cannabis, the end result is going to be a permanent injunction. The permanent injunction is against the property owner. It's unfortunately not against the property. It is against the property as long as that owner owns it. But what's good about this is the permanent injunction also, it covers any other property that that property owner may own in the unincorporated county of Riverside. So if I find that they're liable for growing illegal cannabis on a property that's in Sage, and they also own a property in Anza, I can use that permanent injunction against them as well. So, I mean, there's a little bit more to it. And when I have my turn, I can go into a little bit more of our processes. But that's the basics premise is we are holding, the County of Riverside Code Enforcement is holding every property owner that has illegal cannabis on their property that we have a case on, they're being held liable. Whether they're aware of it or not, whether they are involved or not, that is still their liability. As the property owner, they have a responsibility to not allow nuisances to occur on their property.
What does the injunction do? What does that mean?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
What does the injunction do?
So the injunction is a court order that we start with a preliminary injunction that is like a temporary injunction that says that the court orders that you are not to grow marijuana, illegal cannabis on your property. It starts with the temporary one, which also includes the temporary restraining order with the abatement. After we remove the marijuana or it's voluntarily removed, then we go back and we do settlement with the property owner. They have to pay any civil penalties that they might have incurred, any fees that might have occurred if we use the sheriff's department to come with us to remove the marijuana. They have to pay any of the costs associated with the sheriff's department, such as the wages of the sheriff's deputies that are removing it. And at the end, the court makes an order that says that you are permanently restrained legally from growing any cannabis illegally on this property.
Yeah, but not if they're renters.
It doesn't matter if they're renters. It goes against the property owner. The property owner is always ultimately responsible.
The property owner has to pay all the fines.
We can hold the renters responsible and the renters can just move to another property. It's the property owner. We're trying to, the law allows for us to hold that property owner responsible, whether it's his renters or it's himself.
Okay.
Many times, we don't even know who the renters are. The property owner may be absent. He might not tell us who the renters are. The sheriff's department criminally can deal with the people that are on the property, but the problem is it's difficult to establish that the property owner is aware, and to hold them criminally liable may be difficult. And that's where we can step in and say to the property owner, regardless of your knowledge, regardless of your involvement, you are responsible for the nuisance on your property.
Okay, cool.
Anybody else? I do have a question for the sheriff. They're asking, how many sheriffs do we have patrolling Sage?
We have one committed deputy to the Hill during a 24-hour period. So we have basically 2 shifts right now, 12-hour shifts. And what I've committed to the Hill, and I'll explain what the Hill is. It's still a pretty big area, but before I came to the station 3.5 years ago, we didn't normally assign somebody specifically to the Hill, but the Hill covers all the way over to Garner Valley and then up into Mountain Center and Idlewild. So we have a position, we have a deputy who's assigned to the Hill, but sometimes it could still take that person quite a bit of time to get, like say if they're in Idlewild, to get down to Sage. Sometimes it's easier just to send a deputy from the valley, the Hemet Valley, up the back way into Sage. But to answer your question, we have one person assigned to the Hill, but the Hill is quite a big area.
Okay, another question came in. It says here from Suzanne. So in a high crime area, if I need to call 911, I'll be waiting a very long time for help. Yeah, it always does happen. 3 hours, right? That's how much it usually takes, I think. I don't know. Go ahead, Cap.
No way. Not for a major crime.
It's less now.
Yeah, like if you look at our response time to any major incident, you know, our especially if it's life-threatening, our deputies are going to get there pretty quick because we'll run in a emergency response mode. So if we can't get there quick, then we have our deputies in Temecula that will respond.
Helicopters come too.
Yeah, our helicopters could be over the scene pretty quickly. And we also have our deputy partners in the Palm Desert area. So if they need to come up the back way through 74 or even lower 79 up to your area and to Sage, they will. And we don't just rely on our station. If it's something major that's happening, just like the 7 victim homicide that occurred on Labor Day, we had units that rolled up from Temecula to assist us. And we also had the helicopter up as well.
Anything else, guys? And thank you over there, by the way, woman. Name I forgot. The one who spoke
I think
before.
I see John.
Yes, Jennifer.
John has his hand up.
I have a question about the property.
John Veneluth.
Oh, okay. Go.
Here's the mute. Hopefully you can hear me now.
Yes.
I'd like to encourage everybody to consider joining what's called a COPS program, Citizens on Patrol.
Yes.
I am a member of that. It is a small group out of Hemet. We could sure use some help. We do an awful lot of things to help out with the department. And part of that includes patrolling this area with our units. And though we do not enforce the law, we are eyes and ears. The act of driving a marked unit into the area helps provide a little bit of incentive for those people who are up to no good to go away. And it's not an expensive thing for you to get into. It's a wonderful way to contribute to the community. And it's much easier now than it was in the past because we've got a better application process. So if you'd like to join, you can contact the Sheriff's Department at Hemet, or you can Facebook me, email me, or get in touch with me somehow, and I will get you the material to apply and be happy to talk to you on a personal basis. Thank you.
Yeah, and we do encourage people to apply for the volunteer program. John has been John was out at a scene just last week where we had a major pursuit that went through the Hemet Valley and ended in Winchester, where the suspect shot and killed himself. But as I was rolling to the scene, John was there. John got there before me in a volunteer vehicle, and he was already directing traffic shutting down a road. So how nice was it for me to see one of my volunteers out there actively doing, actively shutting down a road and doing traffic enforcement. It made me feel, I was proud. And we just got new vehicles for our volunteer units. So we're trying to get more people to join.
How old do you have to be?
Yeah, what's the age range?
18 or older.
What's the limit?
Our age range is 18 to.
That's what I'm asking.
You can't be in the grave, but you can be handicapped, and you can be as old as I am and even older.
Yes. Interesting. Okay.
If you can get into a car, we could use you.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I gotta retire first.
There's another one, Mark. I'm not gonna say your last name. Is asking a question. What about removal of rat-infested abandoned mobile homes that are not on pot grows? Okay. And who's got the answer for that one? Go ahead, dude.
This is Manning. I'm not sure exactly what he's asking. We do remove abandoned mobile homes if they are substandard or open and accessible to the elements, allowing the rats to infest it. Then that is a quality of life issue, and we have had worked on substandard mobile homes. There are working on new procedures regarding that, because there was a change in ordinance and also with the state the other parts of it. And we can also still, usually if there's rats, there's trash, and the trash is what will usually remove the rats from the area. So we'll be happy to call in that case, and we'll be happy to look into it as soon as we can.
Any other questions?
Who do we call?
So you can call area code 951.
That's easy.
955-2004, and I'll post it here in the message area in case you didn't write it down, and that should help you write it down or get it down.
It's an abandoned property with a mobile home on it that's abandoned, and it's just a huge rat's nest in the same condition. No sign of ownership.
Oh, and nobody's living in them. We don't have a squatting situation.
It looks like it's quite possible.
Okay, like I said, there's the number. I have it in the comments. Feel free to give us a call and call it in.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question on properties where people are living. Are they supposed to be living in like a, well, are they allowed to be living in a, like a travel trailer or a RV as their like permanent residents?
Well, so there are some areas, especially out in the Anza and Aguanga area, where years back a person did get a permit to put a travel trailer. They have a pedestal. They were back there when nobody was around. I myself personally have investigated cases where we thought it was illegal installed, and lo and behold, there's a permit for a 21-foot travel trailer, and it is permitted. They don't do that today. And what we find more than often is that these mobile homes or RVs that are being occupied on a vacant lot are illegal. Usually with those that are permitted, you're going to have a pedestal, you're going to have a meter, a well, and a whole bunch of other stuff that are indicators to let you know that it is a permitted location. Some will have a palapa on top or a cabana, which is kind of a roof shelter. But like I said, there's most of the time in these areas, they're usually homeless. They're not permitted to occupy a RV in the county unless it's on a permitted lot, like a campground or an RV park. Those are the only locations where you can actually occupy a recreational vehicle full time. Even in a developed lot where there is fixture, there's a home on there. You can't have somebody live alongside of it in an RV, either hooked up to the utilities to the main house. That's also an illegal aspect.
Thank you. Any other questions? Anyone have something? And there's a few people coming in still. It's like we're almost at the end here. Any other questions?
I have a quick question about the RVs. How long does that take? Like if somebody's living in an RV, how long is the process to have them relocate, I guess, if there's no primary structure on the lot, or in general? Because he just said that nobody should be living in an RV. But yeah, how long does that take for the people to go? I don't know, just curious.
Okay, so there's different variables to each case, and each case is unique. In some instances, we've actually had owners of the property allow somebody to live in a mobile home on their lot because they're a form of security to prevent illegal dumping, and we'll advise the property owner that they can't do that. In those quick incidences, the property owner will reach out to the person they've invited to stay there and tell them, hey, you can't stay here, you need to leave. We have other cases in which the people own the property, live in Orange County, have no idea somebody's living on their lot. We'll send notice out to them and advise them what's happening. We normally provide them with the sheriff's no trespass order. They'll sign it. We will, on behalf of the sheriff, forward it to the sheriff's station, get with a field deputy to go out, who will then enforce the no trespass order. And that usually gets them moved out as well. So in general, we can have it anywhere from, we've had cases that, a week, 2 weeks, they were removed, and we've had other cases that were a year long because maybe a receiver needed to be assigned to the property because the owner, we find, is deceased and there's nobody to say they're not allowed. Remember, it's not really occupying the violation of the person who's living inside there. Allowing it to happen is going to be something we have to take up with the property owner to see whether or not they even have an idea that that's taking place. So, sometimes it involves court order from a judge, which because of COVID, there's been a slowdown in civil proceedings with getting a scheduled hearing. And that could delay the process, or an attorney contests it for somebody owning in Orange County because they don't want to be held accountable for the fees because they ignored our notices in the beginning. So there's different aspects of it. It's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly how long it takes. Hopefully that answered your question.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? Anyone else? Well, we're here.
Do we have anybody from Southern Cal Edison here?
Oh, no, I didn't. That's for the meeting for the future. Yeah, I wanted to, but I thought, you know what? It was easier just to get these guys first because we're having so much of a dilemma with the pot growers and all this stuff going on. Yeah, because, for a while there, we felt like we were alone in this because of COVID. And now it's like, I feel so safe now with you guys on here. So thank you. Thank you very much for being a part of us here now.
Would you mind if I gave a little speech on what's
Yes,
happening?
go ahead.
Okay, great, because I'm just eager to get all this information. Keep in mind, these statistics that I'm preparing for you are generated based upon 3 APNs. The prefixes being 469, 470, and 569. These are just centralized with just Sage area, okay? Nothing outside of Sage. I gave you the full demographics of how big the area the officer takes care of, but these are things that he's done just in Sage itself. We all have. One of the big things that was a big nuisance, I got assigned to the station back in March, just actually before COVID. It was actually a week before COVID hit. And we've had to deal with that dilemma also of social distancing, having to work remotely. And then also because the initial phases of COVID, we were listed as a essential position, but there was also a need for us to keep our distance and try to do some of this work from afar until they can get a handle on it. So there was a big gap in the year that we suffered from it as well, but continue to try to do some of the work from afar. In the Sage area alone, we opened up, there was, aside from the already cases that are pending, 60 new cases that were opened up recently. We've closed 14 cases. We conducted 23 inspections, site inspections. There were a total of 29 notices of violations issued. And then we have had one abatement. One of the complaints that we had, the concerns was some of the trash across the field from the Diamond Valley Golf Course, and also and also shooting that was taking place back there. We worked with the Hemet Sheriff Station and combined our efforts. They dealt with the illegal target practicing in that area, while we actually work with the property owner to get that area cleaned up. The property owner has been very receptive and has been working with us to clean it up and even work on having berms put in, looking at having berms put in and maybe some cattle fencing. They went out there and they were shocked to see that the condition in which it was in. So that was one of the projects that we had that was really great enforcement in the community, because we were able to partner up between environmental health also joined us. I got to give them credit. They handled the hazmat of the lead shell casings that were left behind there, and they did an inspection there to find what areas needed hazmat removal for the property owner. We continue to work with the Sheriff's Department's team on some of the areas just outside of Sage and in the Sage area. We have worked diligently with Supervisor Morris's team on the marijuana. We helped her out on some of the investigations or site inspections. I'm sure she wants to give a little speech too. She's limited in staffing, and she covers a large area. So with the use of my team, we try to help her out because she is challenged with that shortfall of assistance from in-house team members. And then I heard the question of cars, and that has been across my office alone has one of the highest levels of highest numbers of vehicles are removed in the county. The technician assigned to that is just solely assigned to vehicle removal. I could see that there's a large number of inoperable vehicles, junk vehicles. I spent most of the morning today touring some of the areas out in that region of just dump sites of cars. So we did probably about 30 vehicle inventories of inoperable vehicles that were just discarded. Some look like they might have been stolen, so we will also run those and recover those with the Sheriff's Department if we find that they're stolen. In other cases, they're just dismantled. They're just the shell after they've parted everything out, and they just dumped it out there in the open field area. So she has been busy, but again, where I have 4 officers to cover this region, it's only her for the entire region. So Sage is a small area in comparison to the big area that she has to cover. So that's it. That's what I wanted to convey in the report card.
You got it off your chest.
Yes, I got it all.
Thank you.
I'll turn it over to Morris since we're
Okie dokie.
pressed for time. And
Thank you so much.
I'll take any questions. Okay, Jennifer, go ahead.
Okay, I have a few statistics. I have 2 officers plus myself. I have one officer, Ron Welch. He works all over the county. We all work. We cover the entire county. all the way to the Blythe border. But he works a lot in the Sage, Aguanga, and Anza area. So I asked him for some numbers. And in the past 2 months, he's had 4 cases in the Sage area that he's been able to close who have voluntarily removed the marijuana. He has 3 that are currently in process. We have 1 that is scheduled to go to court next week to get a TRO. And we have assisted, he himself has assisted RSO on 8 properties. When RSO goes out, we go out with them and try to assist them as far as leaving cease and desist letters for the property owner. That way, if they do reoffend and grow again, we can come back and take them to court. So we love your referrals. You can use the phone number that Manny has put there, the 955-2004. It is really helpful to know where they're at. Of course, we can look and find them by ourselves all day long, but we really want to invest our time heavily in the ones that are affecting quality of life for people. So please give us your referrals and we will make sure we're always OS. If you want to remain anonymous, we are fine with that. And that's it. I don't know if anybody has any questions.
Well, since we're doing statistics, can I give you our report card too?
Go ahead, dude.
If I could just let you know, and I wanted to let you know, and I got my statistics here for what we've done so far this year with our marijuana enforcement. So if I could read off a few things here. We've gone to 224 locations so far this year. We've eradicated 242,000 plants. We've recovered or eradicated about 26,000 pounds of processed marijuana, seized about 1.5 million in US currency. We've taken about 118 firearms off the streets.
Say it again.
118 firearms.
Oh, God.
Arrested 143, and we're just shy of 80 tons of marijuana taken off the hill this year.
Our hill here in Sage?
No, the Sage, Aguanga, and Anza.
And you've got a lot more to go, dude, let me tell you.
It's never ending. Never
I'll be
ending.
sending you some more.
Yes.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's scary, actually, because you see them every day going by, and I think, okay, I know that car doesn't belong here, and I know that car doesn't belong here. Who are you? And then I think, okay, I know what you're here for. Because they come, they go,
Yep.
and then about 20 minutes later, they're coming out. It's like either they're doing drugs, as in selling, or because they don't belong here. I already know everybody's car's here because we're a dead-end street. So it's like, who are you? So yeah, I'll be sending it to you.
Good.
Sorry. It's not snitching, guys. It's called keeping your family and your community safe. I had some other people telling me I was a snitch. It's like, I'm not snitching. It's called keeping safe. Say something. That's it. Do something. Hear something. You know, the thing I have on my page. There you go. That's it. That's quality of life. Exactly. So there.
I have a question concerning today's board meeting. I believe they were working on the hemp issue up here. Hemp is a legal form of marijuana. It's approved by the federal government. They use it for various things, and you supposedly cannot get high from it. And there's a number of hemp grows down in the valley, some of them fairly large. I was wondering if you had any information on hemp growing up here, because I don't think anybody can check and see if it's hemp in the field versus marijuana.
So good evening, everybody. My name is John Hildebrand. I am the Deputy Director of TLA Planning Department. I've been listening in since the beginning, so I do want to thank Sheriff Purvis and Code Enforcement this evening for the comments related to cannabis enforcement side. I'm more part of the regulatory side, and to answer your question specifically, we do have a proposed, so let me back up really quick. We have an in effect ordinance for cannabis. So cannabis is already in effect for our zoning ordinance, but we're talking about hemp, which is very different. So we have a secondary ordinance that's proposed currently. It's gone through the planning commission process and now is subject to final board supervisors for consideration, but it was continued to November 3rd. Right now, if somebody wants to establish a hemp cultivation facility anywhere in the county, all they need to go do is register their property through the Agricultural Commission, and they're able to do it. The Board of Supervisors tasked Planning Department with coming up with a regulatory framework to control hemp, which is what's before the board coming up shortly. The ordinance itself specifies zoning, where it can go, where it cannot go, under what conditions it can go, and how big it can go, and what the entitlement approval that is going before the board on November 3rd for consideration again. So, did it answer your question?
John, does that answer the question? No.
John, just to let you know, we have a analyzer, a hemp analyzer at the sheriff's station now, the Hemet Sheriff Station.
Great.
So we have the ability to test hemp to find out whether or not these growers are truly growing hemp or growing marijuana.
And we recognize that's been an issue. You have 20 acres of hemp that's cannabis, and they're trying to hide and mask kind of what's going on. And to that end, there is opportunities to test the THC levels to determine and distinguish between the two.
Yes.
I do want to get this on your radar that our current cannabis ordinance that is in effect today only allows up to 1 acre maximum of cultivation area per lot. So it's not unlimited. And to do that, to achieve that, you have to go through Planning Commission, you have to go through Board of Supervisors, and it has to be adopted by the board. To date, there are no legal cultivators in the Sage, Aguanga, or Anza area. None. We have a few applications that we're processing, but none have been approved yet. On the hemp front, there are a number of hemp registrations for properties that have been approved already. So one section to approve the hemp ordinance, each of those existing hemp cultivators that got registered through the ag would have to come into compliance with what the new ordinance says. That includes zoning, permitting, entitlement, whatever the ultimately the board decides to adopt, which is what we're recommending. They'd have to come into compliance with that. The issue with hemp is that the current ordinance as written allows nearly unlimited sizes. However, again, as written today, it restricts hemp from being grown in the Aguanga and the Anza, the secondary water district associated next to you, the Anza Borrego. So the watershed, a portion of the watershed that you're in, Santa Margarita, is restricted, and the entirety of the watershed adjacent to you, the Anza Borrego, it's restricted. So that means that no hemp, if this gets passed, would be allowed to be grown legally in your area or in the adjacent watershed area as well.
Is there a meeting for that?
Yes, it was on the agenda for today's Board of Supervisors. It was on today, but it was continued. No action has been taken. It was continued to the November 3rd Board of Supervisors hearing, where there will be a public hearing on it again, and we'll take public testimony.
So is there a way to visually tell the difference, or you have to do it with a special machine?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Could you repeat, please?
Is there a way to visually tell what's hemp and what's marijuana?
So I'll defer that to code and the sheriff's office, who have a little more experience with that. Cannabis does visually look different there's a bunch of different types of hemp that's used for industrial or for CBD. Different types of hemp require different types of water usage. But cannabis, there's only a couple of types that have the THC. So if you're an expert, you can probably tell pretty quickly visually the difference, but in some cases it might be harder to tell.
Does it stink the same? I thought it would stink the same.
Jennifer, go ahead. Yeah, do you have a comment?
So there's different types of hemp. You have industrial hemp, which is the hemp that is used to make rope, fiber, things like that. It does look different, but what they're growing is CBD hemp, and CBD hemp is the only way to tell the difference is at a molecular level. It has to be tested. It's going to look like cannabis. It's going to smell like cannabis. The difference, it's still a cannabis plant. The only difference is that the THC is below 1% or below 0.08%, which is what qualifies it as hemp or hemp CBD. So that is why the Sheriff's Department and their forward thinking and their process solving purchased these analyzers that they could go out in the field and actually have a real-time test and tell what that they're looking at. And it's actually been really wonderful.
Oh, cool. They all smell the same. How nice. So how can you tell the difference?
Well,
just make a stink and then say it. Okay.
You test it. That's how they tell the difference.
Well, if I smell it and I say, oh, I think it's a pot grow, and then you guys go out, then you guys know, right?
Well, the agricultural commissioner has a registration list, and so the Sheriff's Department as well as code enforcement, before we do any action on any property, that's part of our due diligence, our research, is we research to see if it has any kind of registration. Also, another thing that we do is if we do find a registration and it's questionable and I'm getting complaints, we will also reach out to the agricultural commissioner and ask them, have you tested? Because the hemp farmers have to test the hemp product before they're allowed to harvest. And that's something they go through the agricultural commissioner. So we might find some background information on what this registrant has been doing. And the agricultural commissioner will have that. And we work closely with them. The Sheriff's Department does as well to get information and really try to weed out those that are using the registration for, to openly grow cannabis.
Thank you, woman. Anybody else have questions? Come on, guys, they're here. Bring it on. It's too quiet. Okay, so I guess. No, we're not. Okay, so I guess we're done.
Can I make one point?
Go ahead, woman. That's what I'm asking.
Our neighborhood here is pretty organized. And a lot of us wrote the county supervisors about no on hemp. So I would encourage other people's neighborhoods to get involved and talk to your neighbors and, for them to speak up about the issue. I mean, whatever way they want to go with it, but to get in contact with their county supervisor, because it does appear that they are listening. So I think it's important to be active, especially at the community level.
And to add to that, this is John again. The hemp ordinance went through 3 separate planning commissions, several public workshops, community outreach, and is now at the 3rd hearing at Board of Supervisors. So the hemp ordinance in its version today has been modified multiple times as a result of this community outreach, this input from the industry, trying to strike a balance between what is fair and reasonable. We're trying to achieve and maintain the right to farm versus people's property rights and the impacts associated with hemp. So it's a very challenging situation that Planning Department is in, presenting this ordinance that's been asked of us to write that makes it fair and balanced county-wide. This isn't just for Sage and Aguanga and Anza area. This is a county-wide ordinance. And we're doing what we can to restrict it where we need to, but allow it where it makes sense and under what circumstances to allow it and under what conditions. So it's been very challenging, frankly, to get to this point. But we do respect all the comments that you provided to us. We do read all of them, and we do thank you for your input because it's very important to us to understand. I don't live where you do, and I don't understand all of the challenges that you're dealing with out there. And for you to test these things to us, it helps us craft a better ordinance and a better regulatory framework and better enforcement at the end of the day to help make it all work. So thank you.
I'd say join the Sage Community Watch and then you'll find out.
Well, I'm in contact with Jennifer and Manny on a regular basis, so I get it. I do hear from them kind of what's going on countywide. So.
I'm sorry about that. Anyway, okay, so anything else? And thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jennifer, too, woman. And Manny, thank you so much. Where do you go?
Yeah, there was a question asking about there was a question from Donnie asking about the Santa Margarita watershed. I just posted a link that outlines the Santa Ana River watershed, Santa Margarita River watershed, and the Whitewater Rivershed. Hopefully that'll answer his question. I did get a thank you from him, so I guess that's satisfied.
Well, thank you so much. Captain, you got something there, dude? Anything?
That's it. Thank you.
That's
I
it?
appreciate it.
Okay, I do need to speak to one of you guys at the end of this thing too. So, okay, yes, sir. Yes, Manny. Mr. Manny.
I think, okay.
Go ahead, dude.
I'll stick around so we can talk.
Okay. Really? Thank you so much, guys. Take care.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening. Take care.